Brother Mike Hamer, you're here to put it down. We had an experience earlier that let me know that we're connected and messages must be delivered. All I want to say now is just welcome to the show. This is your home. This is where you put it down. But it was really happily eerie and a reminder of how connected we are when certain things have to happen. You called me. You were on the road. I was on the road. We look around. We're driving next to each other. Take it from there, brother. Welcome to the show.
That was within, what you say, a 6 minute span. When I called you, then I saw you. Yeah. Like I was telling you earlier, I stopped believing in coincidences a long time ago because our thoughts, they travel. Remember I told you the verbal and the non-verbal networks? We got the verbal and the non-verbal. So your thoughts, they could carry spiritually the vibration. It carries around the world, believe it or not. So it's called telepathy. That's part of your spiritual network, the non-verbal network. We do it all of the time when you talk about people, they either call or show up. And I stopped believing in coincidences a long time ago because, like they said, everything happened for a reason. So that's part of our superpowers that we possess. That the brain waves, we can pick up brain waves from far away from people that's right around us, from overseas, from different lands and everywhere, because we're all connected. It's all about the vibration. And tonight I want to talk about, I want to address issues that we're having, the Black Lives Matters movement and Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon, I commend that brother. He's one of the brothers in Hollywood that has the nerve to step up and speak his mind and speak the truth. Because nothing he said was nothing far short of the truth. It was all the truth. It was no lies, far short of the lies. Because I believe he got kicked off his show because of what he was saying. But everything he said was on point. He did his homework. And white people didn't like to hear the truth, but there's nothing they could do to stop it. So I commend that brother for what he said. So everybody's waking up, and that's why I'm saying thoughts carry. He's saying the same thing a whole lot of other people are saying. So it's no coincidence that the change we're going through is a natural procession. It's a natural change. And it's a natural alignment. So everything that's happening is going by natural. So we're naturally coming back to our true state and conscious state of mind that we had before we became slaves 400 years ago. So our brains are healed from that oppression. That 400 years is going back to the natural state. So I want to concentrate. I know most of my topics I'll be talking about is about the black family and Black Lives Matters. We're going to look at the Black Lives Matter. The reason Black Lives Matter is because Black Lives Matter, the black family, the melanated family was the first family, and all other families come from the black family. And when I say the black family, I'm talking about the darkness of our skin, not the darkness of our skin, but the melanated energy that we possess. Because we are the vanguards of the New World Order. But first, we got to put ourselves in order. And that's why Black Lives Matter, because they got to come through us and everybody on this planet for that one truth, that one natural truth. So our brains are healing. And the brain, it might take 400 years, but it will correct itself back to its natural true state of mind. And you ask a lot of people, do you really understand your true nature as a man, as a woman? Do you understand your true role as a mother, as a father, as a husband, as a wife? Because you got to be taught these things. And right now, we're not being taught. Our children are not being taught. Children having children. The whole family is out of order. They put the black man against the black woman, and we battling each other. So with Black Lives Matter, we got to start with us first. We fix us and put everything back to the natural way, the natural order. Everything else going to line up. All other families are lined up. This is natural procession. And that's a fact. But that's why I talk about the black family, because we need to reconstruct it back to the original Trinity, the father, the mother, the children. It's there for a reason. The father has his role, the mother has her role. And the children also have their role. But they're supposed to obey their mother and father. But are the mother and father giving the right message? Are we preparing our children to cope with the world? No, not as a whole. Some doing it and some not. But why some doing it and some are not? It's systematic, what you call it, false doctrine that's keeping us in this state of mind. And they use religion and politics. And those are two things that have never reformed mankind, is politics and religion. Only spirituality reform mankind. And that's what I'm speaking on, the spiritual way. The spiritual way to operate your family, your role as a man, as a woman. Those are moral laws. Those are universal laws. And we got to go back to it because it's about order. It's about balance. That's why I take the father's role, the guidance, direction, the director, the disciplinary. He's the ultimate teacher. And the mother's role, she's the nurturer. But what are our women nurturing our children with? Why the father's not there? Why is it so many of our children growing up and going to jail and killing each other? I want to talk about those topics tonight because that's what our black families matter and black lives matter. Let's start with the black family. So if you look at the political, religious, I know I say this all the time, political, religious, the monetary, the military, their school, the educational systems, and their institutions. Then you look at the family. Which one is more important? The family, because all those other institutions, those white brand institutions, are the ones that's controlling your life, controlling your mind, and everything. Those other four institutions. So we're going to talk about the family because that institution is the first and foremost and the greatest institution of all of those. And the black family is the original family. That's why we got to go back to the original ways. So to build a strong nation of people, it starts with the mother. It don't start with the father because she's the first teacher. And all our lessons, the first from conception to 7 years old, the first 7 years of your life, those are the most crucial years of your life right there. That's going to set your character. Those first 7 years. Now, what you was taught between conception to 7 years old is what your character is going to be shaped out of and how you going to see the world. Whether you're traumatized, you were lied to, you were told the truth, you were taught about anything that happened to you during those first 3 years of your life is going to dictate the rest of your life. So did you get false doctrine or did you get the true doctrine? Some did, some got half, some got, and some got none. Some got the most evil doctrine you could imagine. That's why they turned out to be evil. They weren't born that way, but it had to be put into them. They indoctrinate you. They send you to Sunday school. That's the first school you go to. And that's where they indoctrinate you with their beliefs and their religion. And everybody say, I was raised in the church. You're supposed to be raised in a home by your mother and father. The words you're supposed to be going to go to church to get, you're supposed to be getting from your father and your mother. That's their role to teach you that. And that's one of the universal laws. So that's the first thing. They indoctrinate you in Sunday school with that song, Yes, Jesus Love Me. Then by the time you get to 11th grade, they teach you their government economics. And between all of that time, they didn't teach you nothing about your African history. It was all but hate. And they taught you about their history and their beliefs. And what they wanted you to believe and what they wanted you to learn. Like they invented it. And all of the time, they were lying to us. So by the time you graduate, you're a slave to their system and don't even know it. That's why a lot of people still like to run the churches and run to the voting poll. So they still hypnotized. They still under hypnosis and don't even know it. They think they're gaming, but they're not. All you got to do is look at our neighborhoods and look at theirs. Their surrounding neighborhoods, the suburbs. That's why they call them the suburbs, and they all fenced in to keep the black people out. And they call the high crime neighborhoods the black neighborhood, the ghetto. Yeah, but they committing the crimes. The high crime is on Wall Street. Because that's where they used to sell slaves at. And that's where the stocks and bonds and everything started. You came in abundance and used the stock. That's what they was doing, stock exchange. That's where it comes from. So everything is built on destroying the black man's image and destroying the black family and keeping them off balance. So our kids are running around on unbalanced brains because the father is not even there. His image has been destroyed, and he's last in the house and not even in the house. So how the kids gonna get the right doctrine when the mother and father? It's telling you mother and father in the Bible. It don't say nothing about herself. And then quick to say how many single mothers it is, black women. But look at the black white women. There's a lot of single mothers out there too in all races. But they singled out us because they want to make us look bad. And they make the black man look like he's not a good father, but they don't talk about the ones that's doing the right thing. There's a lot of them that's good fathers. There's more that's good fathers than there's bad fathers. But they don't talk about them. They want to put their bad image out there. But how did these kids become bad fathers, become bad mothers? Nobody never taught them. If they'd have taught them better, they'd do better. They'd do better. You're not raising our children to cope with the world. You're using too much materialism instead of realism, instead of moralism. So you can't be, you're giving these kids all these gifts and you're giving them positive reinforcement for negative behavior. It'll never work. Try giving them positive reinforcement for positive behavior and see if that works better. Then you get better results. But you don't know you're doing it because you're spoiling them, because you think you're doing the right thing, but all the time you hinder them. So we got to look at the nurturing that we're doing, the mother and the father. Even if the father is dead, the children will still turn out, on an unrighteous path because the mother and father ain't on one accord. They're not on that same energy. It's like a tug of war. One man telling the truth and the women, they listen to what the preacher says, what everybody else says. They listen to the man in the house and vice versa. Sometimes the women know the truth and the man don't. See, so it's a battle between the black man and the black woman. That's what we got to end. Because neither one of them is right and neither one of them is wrong. Because you don't know any better. We've been put in that state about man just to divide the family so it could keep us oppressed. Keep us think we gain it through politics and through religion. And when you going nowhere. And how you going to go to church and talking about God's law and then go and vote for man's law? You can't serve both laws. So God's law is supposed to be the universal law, and they're not teaching that in religion. They're teaching man's law. The universal law is for everybody. It's for everybody's heart. It's for everybody's soul. Each and every man is supposed to go by that universal law. We're not supposed to be governed by no government. We're not supposed to be, our spirituality is not supposed to be led by, and blinded by religion. That's what's holding the world back. But religion and politics and all these governments around the world, they're falling and don't even know it. That's why I want to concentrate on us, what we're doing to each other, instead of what they're doing to us. And I know people bring this up when they do something to us, it's a big uproar. But when we do it to each other, it's hush hush. It's the code of the ghetto. You don't tell on each other. See, that's a backwards energy. That's why I say they've been feeding off our energy. We've been oppressed, but we still been achieving. We still been becoming first. They still been taking things from our ideas and using them, creating. So our superpowers is right in front of us, but we can't. We're so blind, deaf, dumb, and blind that we can't even see it. We can't even hear ourselves. But we're waking up, and that's what they don't want us to do. See, because once we wake up, then it's a done deal. That's why I concentrate on the black family, because we're going through a natural, spiritual, galactic alignment. Our electromagnetic energy that run through our bodies gotta get into that flow with the universal and the earthly electromagnetic energy. Back into that love vibration, that natural flow. And then that's when your mind will be free, when that energy run through your body like it's supposed to. And your higher self, your heavenly, in your brain, your higher self, and it'll connect you to the heavens above, to the universe. Your mind and your heart will be in sync with the universe. So that's why it's black lives and black families matter. Black lives matter. Because we are, like I said at the beginning, we are the vanguards of the New World Order. And there's only one truth, one vibration of the truth that's going to put everybody in order. I think it's about 4,600 religions today, but it's only one truth. That's why it's no S at the end of that one truth. And it's going to knock the hell out of all those 4,600 religions, so-called religions, all man-made. And we going about what nature wants, what the universe wants, what our ancestors want. Back to natural order. That's why for the original truth, you got to go to the blueprint, and that's us, the original people. They might have stole the food, but they couldn't steal that root. Now we're feeding that root, and that root is waking up in a lot of us. That's why it's necessary for the black family to get back in order. That's the only solution. And they have no weapon that form that shall prosper. I know we heard it a lot of times, but that's the only weapon they got against you, is keep you from the knowledge of your true nature. That's what it's saying. So when we speak the truth as a collective, the whole world will hear. The whole world's going to shake, because it's already shaking now. Because the whole human family is out of order, and it's necessary because for the black family to come together, because that whole human family came from us. That's why we are the alphas. You can see everybody else the omegas. That's why we got to take our energy back and put it into the positive, put it into the love, and spread it for everybody, because we still be doing it under all this oppression through our music, through everything we do. We take it to another level that nobody else can reach. Sports, you name it, everything. They're coming first all of the time. In politics, we're going to take over that too, but we're going to do it the right way. It's not going to be a rich man and poor man. Everybody going to be equal, man. Because in inalienable rights, they say everybody got a right to be free, freedom of speech, freedom of land, freedom of anything. And that's true freedom. But those are human rights. But nobody fighting for their human rights. They're fighting for voting rights, civil rights, and all of that. That's in the past. That was done back then. It was good. But we still, look at us now. Black Wall Street, we're talking about that now, but it used to be Black Wall Street all over the United States. It was black neighborhoods, black business, all the black neighborhoods. We didn't have to go outside the neighborhood. But look at them now, the Koreans and everybody coming in, the foreigners, and running our stores, taking our money from our neighborhoods and taking it back to theirs. So you show me where politics and religion is working. I say the way it's working, to keep it right where you're supposed to be, right where they want you. Keep it from knowing who you are. You get to know thyself. But they don't understand that the truth is coming from the bottom to the top, not from the top to the bottom. It's coming straight from the hood. Because I don't care if you're an NFL player or an NBA player, actor, or whatever, you still came from the hood. And they're using our energy right up on our noses. Intellect, physical, the brawn, everything. Dancing, music. They're making money off of us. We creating jobs for them, even in the jail system. Creating jobs for them. Because they filling the jailhouse up and we filling it up for them. And we doing the work for them. They just sit back and wait till we act it out. Send our kids out there unprepared and stuff, but they know they're going to do wrong because they haven't been trained right. So what are we nurturing our children with? Positive energy or negative energy? There's a lot of negative energy coming out of our mouths towards our children. That's why we got to concentrate on our nurturing our women and the men, the black men. We got to check ourselves, check our natural roads. Because if we understood, if we knew better, we would do better and we would speak better. We wouldn't be calling each other out of our names and, instead of kings and queens, we calling each other the opposite. Because we've been taught to be that way. And we still using it. That's why I say we want to work for them. Look at how we raise our children. Children raising children now because they haven't been taught. So how they going to raise the children? They got to grow up with their children if they make it. And if you don't have the right doctrine, the proper doctrine from the beginning, when you get a certain age, the teenagers, they get out of hand, and that's when they start acting it out. They get out of hand. And then neither parent can handle them because they put a lot of hate in them, a lot of bad energy. So they sit back and build their jailhouses off how we raise our children. We can raise them to be actors, basketball players, go to jail, or whatever they want us to do, we raise them to be that way. So they can make money. We make jobs for everybody, but we're not getting paid. But that's all right, because money had a power that we got. The soul power, the spiritual power we got is more powerful than anybody's money, anybody's gun, anybody's religion, anybody's government, anybody's educational system, because we don't go to schools and get colleges to get wisdom. Life lessons will give you all of that. If you get it when you left home, you're supposed to get it from your mother and father's home village. When you leave home, you're supposed to be mastering your own emotions. You're supposed to be able to cope with the world and be able to guide yourself through the world. So home training, everything in the real school, you start at home. That's why we got to talk about the family. And the black family is out of order. Why are kids killing each other? Why they killing? We just sit around and criticize, but we never try to explore and find out the answers of where it's coming from. Religion in a school system is a pipeline to the jail. Is a schoolyard is a pipeline to the jail yard, especially religion. And we don't even know it because we hypnotized. We still in the oppressed minds. We still in the domesticated minds. Like Lance was talking about thoughts earlier, how it's a coincidence. Well, we ran into each other today, but it wasn't because it had been on my mind the last few days. And I've been kind of hyped up because, like I said, I've been sitting back watching everything unfold. And it's going to get worse before it get better. But it will get better. And the only time it's going to get better is when we step up as a collective, as a whole. Our unity is the key. So the black family is the key. And the black woman, she is real, the first key. Because, like I said, she's the nurturer. What she's teaching her children in the womb, is she teaching them hate or teaching them love? Is she angry or is she happy? What foods is she eating? Is she eating the proper food? The spiritual and the physical food that she digests has a lot to do with the child's brain development, how happy he's going to be, and how he's going to cope with life. So she's the first teacher. But that, like I said earlier, the dad is the ultimate teacher. He's the leader, the guider, the director, the provider, and she's the nurturer, the teacher, the breastfeed, and you put those roles together in the support of the village. And then when that child leaves home, they be master their own emotions, they be master themselves. And that's the way the universe wanted. That's the way nature wanted. And that's the universal law and nature's law that we had to go back to in that order, that balance. Because right now, children working on an unbalanced brain. They got the feminine side of their brain and their mother, but daddy, his image been destroyed. He's not in the house. So I'm working on unbalanced brain. That's where a lot of gayism coming in, because the powers of the woman and the powers of the man, they got to be like the chromosome. Half and half, mothers, half fathers. They got to work in sync. That's why a boy can get too much of the feminine side energy, and he'll think he's a woman, and the girl get too much of the masculine, she think she's a man. So they need that balance. And see, that could come from all kind of dysfunction in the house. Arguing and cussing each other out, or, traumatizing the children. You'd be surprised what the brain will do. Brains be scattered all over the place because all of that. That's why I say don't provoke your child to anger. There's a lot of things that could come out of that provoke anger. And a lot of times that's one of them. If a child is abused, he might be an abuser too when they grow up, because that's what he was taught. That's what he thinks is real. So you got verbal and physical abuse. And the verbal abuse is really the worst kind. When you get the verbal and not the physical, but that verbal and the physical together, some of them get it. And you really could damage a child because you could provoke an anger because we want to put our children for the first thing they do. Shut up before I whoop you. You better sit down before I whoop you, but you think you got to whoop your children because that's what we've been taught through slavery. The movie Antoine Fisher, the lady told him they come from, and Denzel Washington told him, Antoine, that they came from slavery. So it's used to tie him up and beat him. So, So it's a lot of us still going through that and traumatizing. That's why they're not prepared and angry when they leave home. Before they even leave home, they be angry. Angry and untamed and untrained and provoke the anger. So what you think that child gonna do? So we got to stop putting that nonsense in our children to put that common sense, so they can use common sense. But better use your common sense, you got to be taught by common law, natural law, the universal law. You talk about common sensitivity, but a lot of people don't even know what common sense is. They don't even know how to use it. They haven't been taught. Common sense will tell you to stop robbing those banks and stuff, but he ain't been taught by common sense. They're taught by nonsense. Oh, he choose to be gay. No, he been talking about false doctrine, and she been talking about false doctrine too. That's what false doctrine will do. It have your brain all over the place. That's why it's necessary for us to concentrate on our true natural roads. You can ask anybody, do you know the true role of a man? Ask any women that. Then ask the men, do you know the true role of a woman? And see, how many could they explain it right off the bat? I'll have to think about it. Because nobody never challenged them with that question. That's what I do. I ask people questions that people never ask me. Make them think for themselves. Because what everybody looking for, you already possess. It's already written in your child's heart when they come into the world. It's up to us to write into his mind. And when it's right into his mind and his heart is in sync, then it be in sync with the universe, that universal energy. He'll be in a humble state of mind. He'll only use that energy when it's time for fight or flight, the protection of his family, or to save one from danger. That's a subdued devilish energy. Kundalini energy is there for a reason. But that devil in everybody, that's the devil in everybody. Can you control your emotions? Can you control your brain, or do your brain control you? Once you control your master your own emotions, you can control your brain, you can control your thoughts. Because your thoughts and whatever you feel, are negative or positive, once you put it in the universe, you're going to get it back. So the vibration of love is more powerful than the vibration of hate. We've seen the power of hate. Now it's time to see the power of love. So family is love. A lot of women, they get angry at me because I talk about the ABS, the Angry Black Woman Syndrome, and what they be telling their kids. You know, you're going to be like your sorry daddy. I want the mama and the dad. There's a lot of nonsense. I don't need no man. You know, this nonsense. But they've been programmed to say that. That's why so many of them say it. That's how come so many of them do it. But it's not true. It's not our true nature. We just been, you know, taught that we got to break those psychological slave chains. It's all psychological. The greatest battle that everybody's going to fight is between your own two ears. That brain of yours. Everybody's individual brain. That's why everybody's battle is. Bipolar. Unbalanced brains, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people around the world working on it because it's too much anger. It's too much hate. So America, they producing nothing but hate. No love, nowhere. But all this 400 years of oppression, our love still been there for each other. We still got it. We might kill each other, we might steal from each other, but the love vibration is still there. And once we come to it, we're going to cease all of that other stuff. All that negative energy still in it, we're going to be back to the natural. We're going to look out for each other. You're going to unify. You're going to see the world need us. We don't need the world. And they definitely need us. We sitting over here because we smart enough to figure it out. We've been a minute through the 400 years of oppression. So we got to pick up where Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Medgar Evers, Marcus Garvey, Harriet Tubman. We got to pick up where they left off. Because this is the end of their journey. We're spiritual and genetic warfare now. Guns might win battles, but spirituality win wars. And that's where we at. We at war now. And a warrior and a king. The definition of being a king and a warrior is not a rule over people. It's a rule over your own house. That's what a king and warrior is. A true queen. It's not a queen of rule over people. It's a queen of her house, a ruler of her family. To help the man rule. So the king and queen's chamber is right in your head. It's right between your ears, your temples. You got the pineal gland, which is like the lady's clitoris. And the pituitary gland is like the man's testicles. Just look at the pictures. You see the same. That's the king and queen's chamber. So your brain, left and the right. Left hemisphere, your masculine, the right side of you is your masculine. I mean your feminine. I'm sorry. Left side masculine, right side feminine. They got to be in sync. That's why they got to be on the same vibration and natural rules. And that's for every man and every woman to guide and lead their families back to their order. And that's going to be peace and love on the planet. That's for everybody. No child left behind. The power of love. And that's where we come in and we got to teach the world, but we've been teaching it all the time. Now's our time to speak it as a whole. Lift every voice and sing to earth and heaven and ring. That's the national anthem, Black national anthem. So that let you know once we lift our voices, heaven and earth, and that energy is coming from the heaven, and the energy is coming from the earth, the electromagnetic energy is going to flow. It's going to be in sync, and that's our energy. So that's what it's saying. The telling you right there in that song, that's the electromagnetic energy. So there's nothing new. Everything repeats itself. This is just the last time it's going to happen because the whole world is going to be conscious now. You got satellites, you got cell phones, you got all kind of media networks out there that can spread the messaging in minutes. It started with the talking drums, and you send the message through the drums. And the drum can come from the heartbeat. Heartbeat come from the earth. Heartbeat of the earth come from the sun. And the pulse of the sun comes from the universe. So all hearts are connected to the universal message. That's why I say every child born in this world, that message of the truth is already written in his heart. And that's the only truth that's going to put everybody in that vibrational love field with the universe, with the planet, and everything else. That's why the hearts are waiting on that higher vibration. That's why a lot of people can't stand the change. They're having problems with it. They're having issues. But one thing about nature know how to correct things. And that's what we're doing, going through an alignment. So you get rid of the weak and keep the strong on, and the strong survive. And I think that was Langston Hughes. Let me take one of his quotes. These are the times that try men and women's souls. Everybody on this planet is being tested, animals and everything. So when change comes, you can pray all you want. You can vote all you want. Because all of both those are man-made. But when change comes, you don't vote on it, you don't pray on it. You got to adapt to it. You got to adjust. So when change comes, it always reveals the truth is always revealed. And people got to submit to it. Now, once they submit to it, then it get back out of hand, then it's going to go through the same procession, but this is the last time it's going to happen because we're in that age where it's going to be peace and love on the planet. So we connected to everything, all the energies on this planet. And we were here first. That's why black families matter. That's why black lives matter. That's why it's no coincidence that a lot of people around the world holding on to black power, because they know they need us. Like I say, they need us more than we need them. If everybody left and went back to Africa today from the United States would fall flat in less than a year. We're just that powerful. And they know this. They know they can't do without us. They know they aren't smarter than us. So they've been using our energy against us. They taught us to use it against each other. And while we're using it against each other, they're using it to make money all over the place. So that's why we got to examine our own self. We got to, black man, he got to examine himself as a man, as a true man. To say the older people are supposed to be for counseling, but what are they counseling them with? A lot of them, they still lost. But there's counselors out there. There's a lot of them, they're youngers and things. But one thing about it, the children are teaching the parents. The children are easier to talk to than the elders, some of the elders. Because the elders, they said in their ways. But the children, they still innocent. They still don't have a lot of their lives written into their heads yet. So that's why they say out of the mouths of babes, they know the truth. And they know it when they hear it. And they respond to it. But they also respond to negative energy also, because they don't show that too. Oh, he's acting up at school. He's bad at school when there's something going wrong at home. He's not being taught how to cope with the world, cope with other children. It could be from being spoiled. It could be from being abused. There's a lot of things that could come from that. But when you put your children out there in the world, you could blame everybody else you want. You got to look at yourself first. You got to examine, what did I do wrong? If my child is acting up, there's something I'm doing wrong. A lot of people don't think that they're doing wrong because they think the truth is a lie and the lie is the truth. This is the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to fight and cuss each other out. Because I'm a strong black man, I'm a strong black woman, but that make you weak because it's going to weaken your children, make your children weak. You're going to pass that negative energy to the children. Then when they get up and cussing people out and disrespecting people, first thing a lot of people, I don't know where you got that from. You ain't get it from me. You ain't got it from you. You start telling that lie. You got to start taking responsibility for our children's action. Stop pointing the finger at somebody else. Oh, I was raised right. Man, you was in and out of jail. Man, you just did 15 years. You was raised right. You been in jail. But like I tell everybody, I don't care if you live in California, out west, north, south, in the south. We all been pretty much raised by that false doctrine of Willie Lynch. We've been running our house. And that's all we got to do is break that curse right there. And it is a curse. And we don't even know it. It's still in effect today. Still in effect today. And they changed the roles of the man and the woman right there. And they told you what they're going to do. They mess with the family unit. So only slaves could heal slaves. We got to reverse that. We heal ourselves, we heal the world. And that's a fact. So that's why I commend brothers like Nick. They just plant seeds in their hand, but there's more to come. This is like there's a lot of people you haven't seen on television. Those are the ones you got to look out for because they're not allowed. They on YouTube, they on Facebook, they all over the place, but not on the mainstream, not yet. But we out there. And as I speak now, like our thoughts are carried, there's people around the world right now thinking and talking about the same things we talking about right now. It's listening, what you're listening to and what I'm talking about. I'm not the only one. I might say it the way I say it, but everybody gonna tell it in their own soulful, spiritual, true way. Because one man can't have all the knowledge, but one thing I do know is about the family structure, and how you have to do with the proper brain development of the child, and how powerful our brains are. Oh, he got a big head. Like I say, our brains are bigger than everybody else, and the head's bigger because we are smarter than everybody else. So we smart enough to build the pyramids. We should be smart enough to put the family back in, reconstruct the family, to build the family back to the original way, the original methodology, the original message. And that's the power of love. That's true love. That's universal love. That's the love that's going to steer the stars and everything. That's the love that's going to steer the planet. Because all these other races that come from us, a lot of them are destroyers. The Japanese, Chinese, and the Europeans. They do more destroying than they do anything else. They burning, tearing down trees in South America just to put precious wood on their floors and stuff. And that's a bit too much. How much money do you need? That much, that's not going to make you a better person. But there's some people on this planet don't care about it. They only for self-preservation. There's a lot of spoiled people and angry people walking the planet right now. My son asked me the other day, he said, Daddy, our emotions and stuff, all this anger got something to do with the clearing the bad weather. I said, yeah. We got a whole lot to do. We connected to everything. I said, the earthquakes and all of that. I said, we connected to everything. And I said, by the way, a lot of electricity you see in the sky comes from the ground. A lot of people don't know that. So electricity hit that tree, it came from the ground. It comes from both, but a lot of times it comes from the ground. It gets shot by the ground. Electromagnetic energy come from the ground too. That's why we get energy from both, from the bottom and the soil above us below. That's where we get energy from both. But is that energy flowing right now? No, because we're not eating right. Spiritual and physical food that we're eating over here in America is not digesting right. And I've been looking at a lot of black people. All of a sudden, they get diabetes and heart failure. All of a sudden, be healthy one day, the next day I got heart failure. To me myself, I think they're still using us as guinea pigs because we resist it. They still studying us because of the melanin in our skin. They try and find the ways to try to get it and try to study us, but no, they can't do it. They're not smart enough. We're too well put together. Only we could tell them about us. They can't tell us about us. But we could tell them about them. But they can't tell us. So that's why I concentrate on the black family a lot. Most of my topics, I be talking about the black family and how we raising our children and addressing the issues that we only complain about, but nobody explains. So we got to look at ourselves and look at black family matters, because that's where it all begins, with the black family. The whole human family come from us, but that's where it starts. And that's the only solution. the one and only solution. That the politicians, the religious people can none of them figure it out. What's really happening, what's really going on. They can't tell you what we're going to tell you. But the spiritual awake brothers and sisters, they ain't going to tell you what we're going to tell you. Because they don't know. As long as they're getting paid and stuff and living good American dream, they okay. It's the ones that's living from hand to mouth. Those are the ones that's going to change the world. The ones that come from the bottom. So-called poor man. And like I was telling one of my friends the other day, I said the white man, the rich man, they dumb. Because the only way they rich is because of the poor man. The poor man is the foundation of all the everything. You take away the poor man, how the rich man gonna make it? He won't be able to. Because it's a capitalist system, so he capitalizing off somebody else's cheap labor while he getting paid. So he don't know how to work. He don't know how to get out there and do it. So he can figure his way. He took all the poor people and the people supposed to be on the bottom of the way. How a rich man gonna survive? He won't. Now you go the other way around. You take the rich man from the poor man. Well, I already didn't have nothing, so hey, I already know how to survive. You just keep doing what he's doing. And he's the one that's going to inherit the earth, the humble man, because he's more humble. Because he know he got to go the natural way, get out there and get it like the animals, like everything else, every day, to provide for my family on little or nothing. I don't get enough to eat today. I get enough to feed my family a little bit, but I get right back at it the next day. But see, we're going to let technology take over, along with religion, raise our kids. And now they're not even going to church now. They playing the video game. But like I tell everybody, I said, you got to be careful with their television because your brain is a big program. And the first thing they say, this program is coming on. So you could be programmed subconscious, don't even know it. Like a lot of people got drama filled in their life. They like to watch a lot of drama on television. They're attracted to it. If you like animals, you're going to like watch Animal Planet and all of those things. Wild Kingdom. It's an old show, but you know. So we got to understand that we got a job to do. We got issues to deal with. That's why I had to tell my wife, I said, we got to concentrate on us. Don't concentrate on nobody else and what they doing. You can't judge people on your own personal feelings, your personal emotion. Because a lot of times you might not like that person to just say something just off the top of your head because you don't like it. And it's not true. You know, I say you got to judge yourself first before you judge anybody else. Because most people that judge other people don't think there's nothing wrong with you until you tell them. So 2020 is a turbulent year, and it's turbulent for a reason because, like they say, everything happened for a reason. And sometimes it takes tragedies and things to wake people up. You got to take the good with the bad. And sometimes things like that will trigger people to wake up and really see reality and come to reality. And I call it fuel for the fire. And see, the fire is the spirit. The spirit is in your heart. That's why a lot of people say, my heart was burning. I said, yeah, it's on fire. He said, yeah. Feel like it's on fire. I said, yeah. It's been activated. That's why you see a lot of people speaking up now. Whether people like it or not, the truth gonna come out. And it's gonna force it out of a whole lot of people. And when they wake up, they're gonna really see the light. They say, don't go toward the light. You gonna die? No, they want you to stay in the dark. But we coming through the light because this is natural change. How did we get the laws in the first place? How did we get the truth in the first place? It was through evolution. You got to go way back, way back, way back before there was any other race of people on this planet but black people. So, you know, once man and woman start populating the earth, you knew the message was going to get out of hand. Different beliefs started popping up, different cultures, and your beliefs went along with your culture. So when all these cultures clash, oh, my God is better than your God. Oh, my God is better, but he looked like me. He looked like, yeah, everybody's God looked like them. But who is God? Is it the original man, the original woman? Because all other came from my likeness, came from my image. So when the white man said we came from the image of God, he talking about the black man and the black woman. Our black women, like I say, y'all the key because y'all was here before man was. You give birth to man and woman every day. Man ain't never gave birth to no woman, no real. That's a fairy tale. Put nobody to sleep and take a real and then mold the shape of a woman. That just don't sound logical. You gotta watch the fairy tales. Read between the lines. But you gotta have the information, you gotta have the knowledge. And one thing about it, you can't believe everything your mother, not in America, you can't believe everything your parents taught you. The preacher taught you, your teachers, your coaches, what you see on TV. When you do your own research and find out the facts for yourself and you find it conducive for everybody, for all mankind, that's what you keep and hold on to. Because it's the truth. It's the one truth for everybody. And I tell my son every day, you know, he listens to me and he go and tell other people. And I tell him, you don't have to write nothing down. Then he said, no, but I still want you to read. So you had the facts for yourself. Not just go by what I say, but go and read and see for the facts for yourself. So when you bring it up, you know exactly what you're talking about. I don't want you talking off the top of your head like you really know, but you don't know. You're going to make a fool out yourself. You fight facts with you fight spirituality. With spirituality, you fight with wisdom. You fight with knowledge. But you fight with facts. And that's the true knowledge. And you know the truth. And that's the only way you're going to get the facts. You got to see for yourself. You can hear it, then I show it to you. You see it's already written. And that's why I tell them you don't need no books, but I still want them to read it. Because what I tell you is already written. It's ancient wisdom, ancient knowledge. It's in your DNA. It's in your heart. The heart knows the vibration of love and the vibration of truth when it hears itself. That's why a lot of people run because their heart then activated. That magnetic energy that ran through your heart has been activated. Now, can you handle that energy that's going to come from that Kundalini energy? They say you got a yellow streak down in the back. Yeah, that's because you're running from the truth. And that Kundalini energy, you can't handle it. That's why you're running. That's why you get the verse, got a yellow streak down in his back. Yeah, you got the energy, flight. It's for fight or flight. He's flying because he's running from the truth. Because it's burning the ears. Yeah, but that's why I wanted to talk on the Black family because we kind of think it's normal for the kids to keep growing up and going to jail, and we're not addressing our problems. We're not talking about it. We're not talking about the black family issue. And our politicians, they talking about politics. The preachers, they talking about religion. But nobody talking about fixing and the solutions. A lot of us think we can buy our way out of this. Oh, we need the money and stuff. We could build. That's all good, but who's gonna build? It don't take money to build a black family. It don't take politics to build a black family. And religion sure not gonna build it because they're not teaching that. Now I got the Islam over here. They teach. They talk about the black family, but who else? No other religion really do. And the ones that do, they gonna get kicked out. They're gonna get kicked out of the church and out of wherever they at. Whoever tell the truth, we after you. One thing about it, you can't kill the truth. You may kill the messenger, but you cannot kill the message. The truth gonna kill evil before evil kill it, and that's what it's doing. It's exterminating. So the melanated people, the power in us, that melanin, is being activated through the universe. The pineal gland is activated through the universe. Our hearts been activated through the universe. So now we got it's up to us to put it all in sync. I said we've seen the power of hate. Now it's time to see the power of love. And love I'm talking about is gonna conquer all hate. All hate. So we grew up on the rough side of the mountain. That 400 years to get to the top, but we're at the top now. And all other nations got to come to us. It's already written in a book that they wrote called the Bible. I say read between the lines and you see all of you in there. Every story that's in there. I don't care if they're repetitious or not. We lived every last one of them through that 400 years of oppression. So who could better explain and decode that book than us? So it's not a book, it's a weapon. We're going to use it against them because that's what we see in there. They can't see, but it's right there in front of them. It's in plain view. They so blinded by their lies because they believe they lies because nature was cruel to them and made them, turn them into liars, turn them into thieves, turn them into destroyers. So they call it their lower vibration. Their primitive nature. So that's why we got to come back in because we the ones, Africans, we created a civilization. Civilized, civilization, being simple. Civilized, being peaceful. They created chaos. And the chaos they created is coming to an end. But it's all coming to a head. It's against the black man against the white man. The black energy against the white energy. The positive against the negative. So I tell white people, y'all want to say y'all race, y'all need to go back to Europe. I always telling somebody else, well, they need to go back to y'all. You need to go back to Europe. Because that was given to y'all and it was cut off to you. That's what y'all inherit. That's what y'all inherit. But this is black man and black woman's planet. We can't put it in order. We just put it in share this planet for everybody. Like I say, no child left behind. No child for want for nothing. I'm talking about realistic, not materialistic. That comes secondary. We're in the materialistic world, but we can't put them before morals. Put the moral first and then give them material and see what happens. Positive Reinforcement for positive behavior. Positive reinforcement. That's what we got to get to. Because this is a material world, we're going to stay in it now. There's nothing wrong with having material things because technology, we still evolving. The world is still evolving. The planet is still evolving. Everything. But now is this time for everybody to line up. You know, every day you turn on the television and stuff, and you see the police, they haven't stopped doing what they're doing. They still choking and stuff because they've been trained. But isn't a, you know, I didn't want to say at first they were natural born killers, but I'm beginning to believe they are not because they do like to get thrill from killing. That's why I say look at their movies and look at lives and you see the state of mind that they in, the state of mind they in. That's more about family, that's about destruction. Blood, wars, and they mix the wars and the love together to make you think they go hand in hand when they don't. When they don't. That is all right. Fight and be in love at the same time. No, you got to be, you're supposed to be having yours if you're in the right state of mind. And that happy medium and that high vibration, you're not going to want to start no war with nobody. You're going to be in love with everything and everybody. You're going to be in love with yourself. So why you need to go and kill somebody? For selfish reason. When you can share it. When there's enough land for everybody. There's enough food for everybody, not to pay. So what these governments around the world is ran by the rich people. And other ones just think they're going to rule the world forever, but it's not going to happen. That's why they come up with religion to control other people. Make you think you're getting somewhere, but you're not. They're doing you a favor. And while we sitting around waiting on them to feed us food stamps, stimulus checks, and all of that, you know, you're too comfortable. As long as they're doing that, you're all right. But it's not all right. Because then we'll sit around and complain, oh, they do this, and we change the laws, they do this. Yeah, that's because you're stuck on ignorance. Martin Luther King said, we all born ignorant. If you die ignorant, that's on you. If you never tried to seek the decent research to find out why, then that's on you. So seekers, they're getting knowledge. You can hold conversations with them, but non-seekers, the ones that's not reading and trying to obtain knowledge, you can only talk to them for so long because they're going to talk. They can't go outside their knowledge. That don't mean they dumb and things like that. I ain't looking down on nobody. I'm just saying they just haven't done any homework. And they don't have the will or the willpower to get up and read a book or even try to do it. That's why I say everybody got to do their own research. You don't have to wait for nobody to teach you. The universe will teach you. Everything you need to know is in the universe. Just pick up books, pick up the computers or whatever, and you could just study it. But study yourself. Get to know that self. Your inner self, not your outer self. Like you say, you dress up the outer self, it look good in the mirror and everything, but what about your inner self? You sad as hell on the inside. And a lot of actors, a lot of singers, they same way. They sing good, but they sad on the inside. That's why their music is so powerful, because they're expressing what they feel on the inside. And once they not get it, they're real true love. And there's a lot of singers in the same way. They are like that because they're not getting the right kind of love, but everybody love their music and love their entertainment. But they don't really love it as a person, as a character. And when that's one thing, because nobody had the conscience of their character. Your character is molded and shaped the first 7 Excuse excuse me. The first 7 years of your life, your character is molded and shaped. It started me right then and there. And that's what everybody be judged by, not how you look on the outside, but your character is coming from the inside. And that's one thing can nobody hide, the contents of the character. I don't care who you are, what you are, wherever you are. Your character is your character. It's on the show. Whether you're right or not, whether you've been raised by the truth or you haven't been raised by the truth, your character is your character. And some people just try to hide it. But if you look at them and listen to them long enough, they're going to reveal their character. All you got to do is listen to their conversation. Sometimes you can tell by the body language because the body don't lie. It's like people say, I love you all the time. I love you, I love you. That's an overused word. Oh, I'm a Christian. Oh, I'm a Muslim. That's overused. You ain't got to tell nobody who you are if you act it out. You can tell somebody, but you're not walking it. You can talk it all day, but if you walking it, you don't have to tell nobody. They'll tell you. You don't have to brag or tell nobody because when I tell people, they say, I'm a Christian. I said, no, you're not. They get upset. I say, I told you. You don't even know what a Christian is. You just repeating what slave master told you. Christianity. Yeah, they hanging people from trees. They're still doing modern day lynchings right in front of us. Yeah, but see, things are backfiring on them. We fighting back now. I see a lot of black brothers fighting the police back. A lot of sisters, these white women running up on them, and they getting the beat down. You know, yeah, but our physical part is not going to get us. It's not going to win no battles. You might win the battle, but you ain't going to win the war. That's when that spirituality come in. You won't have to lift a finger, lift a gun, anything. Just lift our voices together. And that's the weapon right there. It's going to vibrate the whole world. It's going to vibrate the universe. It's going to activate. Because we are that energy source. And no other race of people that came from us. Well, it's only one race. No other human beings on this race, on this plate, from this race. From that one race, which is from us. His energy is greater than ours. They got recessive energy. When he got to Europe, white man, he was black, then he recessed to white. That's why his gene is recessive. You can't take two white people to make no black people or brown people. So you can't take two brown people and make a dark-skinned people. But you could take a dark-skinned person and make all of them. A black person, because everybody originated from the black woman. The mitochondria Eve, the black woman. And that's the mutated gene that everybody else came from, was able to mutate, to adapt to DNA and everything. You had to adapt to your climate, adapt to the food you eat, and you always had to adapt to your emotions. So if you cut off from the rest of the earth and you in the cold all of the time, no plants to eat and stuff, you're going to be pretty aggressive because everything is scarce. So nature was cruel to them and kept them in their primitive state of mind. They still do primitive things because, like I say, they like to kill. They like to see blood. Who gave that white man the right to think that he could execute somebody because he think he's wrong? You should get executed for this. Who gave him that authority? They took it. They stole it. And one thing about it, we ain't going to inherit it back. When you get something, inherit something that's free, you don't have to pay. So bring your money, bring your guns, bring all of that. Bring your education, but bring your children. Because the children of the world, like I say, they teaching the parents all around the world, and I'm watching. I do a lot of, I study a lot of human nature, human activity. I study everybody every time I see somebody. I don't care where it is on TV or whatever. I'm studying behavior. Because one thing when it comes to behavior, we all connected. And we all got to get in sync. Now, everybody not going to get in sync, but the ones that's submissive, they tell the woman, you got to submit to your husband. I'm not submitting to no man because I ain't no slave. It's not saying to be a slave. It's about passing energy. But first, black man, you got to submit to the laws of the nature, the laws of the universe, instead of the laws of man. So we both got to be submissive to our natural laws. That's what being submissive is. See, they tell you just the woman be submissive to your man, but no, we got to be submissive to each other. That's the only way it's going to work. That's the only way balance works. You got to work in sync. So you got to fill in those blanks and stuff. You got to make common sense. Take nonsense and make it a common sense. But first you got to have a free mind to be able to think with common sense. Your mind is free and thinking with common sense. You read something, you can tell if it's nonsense because your ancestor wisdom will tell you, no, this don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. This is nonsense. So these boys, they growing up and doing the same thing all over the United States. Drive-bys, killing the kids, killing each other, because they was raised by the same message, pretty much the same message. Same message, same results. Same false doctrine, a new doctrine. You come from a violent household, then you watch violence on TV, and you go out in the street and there's violence out there. What you think? I'm trying to survive. If I have to kill somebody to survive, I'm going to kill somebody. So you in that permanent state of mind. Kill to be killed. So you think that's the way of life because you haven't been taught. You haven't been trained right. So that's how they keep building that jailhouse. That's how they know how many jailhouses they go to. They look at the family and how dysfunctional the black boy is. And I started to say that first 7 years, by the time they get to the third grade, that's when they know that we're going to need the jailhouses. How many we going to need? That's why I say that first 7 years. That's what determines your character and your behavior and everything. Right there. That's where it all started. And whatever your child act out in the world, that's the message he got from where he was raised, from the home he was raised in. So what I'm trying to say is the world need us, the people need us, and we need each other. Because these are times of try men and women's souls. Everybody. So we call us the soul people. Your soul is the melanin in your skin. It's in your heart. It's in your pineal gland. That's the soul. The soul of the universe. It's connected to everything. The souls of the plants. The souls of the waters. Because everything got a story to tell. They can tell you a story better than you. Nobody else. Your own personal story. But everything on this planet got a story to tell. And you're connected to all of those stories. So we got the brain power. We got the spiritual power. We got the black power. We got the black melanated power. Electromagnetic energy. The radiocarbon power. And that's the real black power. To put the world in order. To put everybody in order. We're going to do it the spiritual way. Free everybody's mind. And you will, like I said before, it's going to be even, man. Everybody going to be equal. Because we're going to be all on one same accord. So that's what we do. We're making that transition. We change it. So that's why I say we got to adapt to it. And the best way to adapt to it is with the truth. The best way to adapt to it is to get to the natural law, the universal law. And only each individual got to liberate their own mind. Because like I said, those fierce battle you're going to fight is in your own brain. Your conscious and your subconscious mind in the battle every day. You don't even know it. Because you're trying to figure things out. And each individual got a brain. We all got the brain. We function the same way. So it might be more powerful, as far as if you're looking at the amount of melanin people have in their skin and in their brain, it's like a status. You can tell by that who's the dominant gene, who's the lesser, who's the recessive, and who's the progressive gene. And that's us. That's because we got the melanated power to change everybody. Every time we can see, if you got black blood, then you're black. So the whole world is black. The more we inject black into them, they turn darker. They still got a little taste of blackness in them, but 55% calcification. Then you get to the albinos, they're whiter than the white people. They don't have none. So they let you know the status of people right there and the power of them right there, because the albinos don't have none, but they can't take the light from the sun in their eyes because it's no color. So they let you know how dominant color is and how important it is, protected from the sun. So the dominant gene, I didn't used to believe this, but it is the truth. You got to know the truth. You got to say it. It's not trying to be above nobody, better than nobody. The truth is the truth. That's what nature in the universe made us, the planet. So that's why we got to come back first. We've been put last in slaves, now we got to come first again. And I look at all around the world and I listen to the children, especially the black children. And people were talking about how smart the children are. I said, yeah, man, these are future babies. That's what my brother used to call my nephews when we were little boys, future babies, because they had big heads. He said our children are going to have bigger heads in the future because their brain's going to be, getting bigger because they're going to get more knowledge. And it's happening right now. The future babies are here. They real smart. And it's for a reason. That's why I say each generation gets smarter and wiser. We're going to evolve back into the truth. That's why the children are teaching the parents. I mean, actually teaching them, especially the teenagers. They're teaching about the African history and our history and our truth, the African truth. So it's a beautiful thing. And then, like I said, in Revelation, children are going to be teaching, but they teaching them in two kind of ways. Now, the ones out there wreaking havoc, they teach the lesson. I'm going on wild, untamed instincts and stuff because I'm trying to survive. And this is the only way I know how to survive. I got to take from somebody. I got to steal from somebody because I haven't been taught. I didn't have no dad in my life to teach me how to be a man and to give me discipline and to straighten out when I acted bad with my mother. My mother couldn't handle me, especially when I got a teenager. I did what I wanted to do. But see, if daddy was there, he neutralized all of that. You see, you hear that story a lot. The baby mama drama, keeping the children away from the baby daddy. But when they at a certain age, the teenagers, mama can't handle it, then they call daddy, come get your son. And a lot of times it'd be too late. But see, I've seen a lot of times the guys get their children, get their sons, and they change their life around. We get them just in time. But also some get see some get it late and they get killed about a week later or something like that. And the first thing they said, man, I didn't get him in time. I said, I know, there's nothing you could do about it. But then that's when the mama went because she couldn't handle it. So if daddy was there from the beginning, he probably wouldn't end up that way. Mom and daddy was on the same page. Not all that hell raising the cussing and fussing each other out. If they was more civilized, then that child, he raised up to be civilized just like them. If you're uncivilized, you're going to be uncivilized children. So how can you blame the children? I was in the shop one day and they were talking about how bad the kids was, and I just made one statement. I said, it's not the children, it's the parents. Everybody got mad at me. No, they choose to do that. I said, no child choose to do bad. But I had to explain to them, but they didn't know. And when I broke it down to them, they said, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't know it do because you didn't know better until I told you. No, it's not the children. Children are not supposed to raise themselves. Somebody's supposed to raise them, the mother and the father, just like the book says. But a village. Somebody got to have that void. If mom and daddy, something happened, along the way, mom and daddy, aunt, uncles, village, take in and get that child that roll. Roll at the mother, roll at the father, whichever family lose. It's all about the brain development, making sure that child's brain stays strong and stay healthy and on the right path. Because that's what it takes, the role of the mother and role of the father, along with the village, to make a strong mind and a healthy heart. You put that child on the proper, righteous, proper path that he's supposed to go when he leaves. Because once we raise our children, they belong to the universe. But are we preparing them to cope with the universe, cope with the world? No, not as a whole. So we got to get back to basics. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. We got to get back to the natural basics. And that's the one and only solution. I know I say it a lot, but that is the one and only. I promise you. And everything else will fall in line. See, everybody talking about getting paid, but nobody's talking about love. And the truth is the vibration of love. Nobody talking about family. They talking about politics, talking about religion, but who's talking about the family? The black family. They don't want to talk about that because if y'all talking about it, we start figuring things out. And then they can't control us no more. And they know we're going to control them. Not in the way they controlling us, but through spirituality. So that's what they want to keep us oppressed, keep us at the bottom, keep their knees on our neck, keep choking us out, to keep us right where they want us. But no, that's all right. That time is over with. They got their own knees on their neck now. They don't even know it because all this energy, bad energy they got in the United States around the world is going to collapse because anything built off the back of slavery and lives is going to fall. And it's time for all these things to fall. So every morning, like I say, I wake up and I thank the universe, I thank Mother Nature for making me a black man, the original man, the messenger, the counselors. And older people, like I said earlier, they're supposed to be for counseling. There's not too many counselors out there. But the children are counseling themselves because they're reading. They're more intellectual, inclined. They're more aware. They're more conscious. And a lot of them rejecting religion, everything. But they see it for themselves. So you can't hide the truth now from the youth. But they need to be backed up by the wisdom. There's a lot of wisdom out there now. Don't get me wrong, we just haven't hit the mainstream yet. So all these psychologists, all these people, these doctors had answers on television, Dr. Phil and all of them. But at the end they say, oh, you need to take this pill. See, one thing about Western medicine, they never cure. They'll give you temporary, relief, but they'll never give you a cure because they don't want you to be cured. They want you to keep coming back. But one thing about spirituality, the spirit of the truth, it'll heal all of those. You free your mind, the rest will follow. And that's the greatest healing is the truth. Because you see the world the way you're supposed to see it. You feel the way the world is supposed to see it. You hear the world the way you're supposed to hear it. You be in tune. And that's what they don't want us to do. Get in tune with the universe, get in tune with our true self. So, my message to the black people, you have to stay conscious and keep doing what you're doing. Keep learning, keep teaching. Because 2020 is not over yet, but it's going to get rougher. Toward the election, I see how the election and everything is going. I don't keep up with that too much no more because I already know where that's headed. I really concentrate on the black people, the black families, black unity, and the black message. Because I know our powers, I know our superpowers, and I know how we got to be woke up and we got to counsel each other. We got to talk to each other. We got to communicate. We got to come together. Because they're not just going to get the United States. They're not going to give it away. But we're going to get it. We're going to take it. We're going to take over everything. But like I said, not in a domineering way. We're not going to take it and treat them like they treated us, make slaves out of nobody. Because nobody, that's all over with. We're just going to free everybody's mind and put everything in order. Because everybody's here for a reason. Black man, white man. This journey we went on and everything we going through has been already pre-programmed. It was going to happen. It's already written. This is going to happen. That's why we know the time. They say you never know the time, but the time is now. That's why you might hear me repeat a lot of things because I know the solution. I know what's important. I know what's more important than anything on this planet that is black family. That's why black family and black lives matter. There's more to it than just raising your fist. There's more to it than just saying it. Because they try to say, oh, white lives matter too, all lives matter. Yeah, that's true. But the reason black lives matter right now because it's time for us to rise up and take our place. It's time for us to take the head. Like we've been the tail long enough. It's time to become the head again. Because the Caucasians, they was the last ones to appear on the earth. They was here already, but they hadn't been released yet until the Ice Age. So that's what Nick Cannon was trying to tell them, how they got aggressive, why they were trying to killing people, how they got all of this aggressive attitude and killers and stuff. And he was telling the truth, but they don't like the truth. But the truth is what it is. You can get mad all you want to. It's not going to change. It might hurt your feelings and everything, but that's all right. But one thing it did, he planted some seeds. And the seeds going to grow because there's more that's going to come from that. There's more people going to start stepping up that's on those, that have already had those platforms on television. Even in the pulpits, a lot of preachers, they're stepping up and telling the truth. They might lose their congregation, but that's all right. So we gaining forces. It's a storm of brewing. It's storms in a lot of people. Spiritual storm of brewing in the South. So that's why I'm telling people that thoughts carry, and I see more people, more and more every day, is becoming conscious and aware. It's picking up momentum. It's like the beginning of a hurricane. There's a lot of energy being gathered, and I can feel it, and I can see it, and I can taste it, and I can hear it. All my five senses is feeling my soul. And all the senses coming from me, all directions, all energy. It's coming through us. That's why change is here, and the change is coming, and it's here. But changing of the guards is coming. That's what I'm trying to say. From the white man, you got to go back to the bottom. We got to go back to the top. There's no looking back. There's nothing they could do. No, nothing they got that's going to stop this. We're dealing with the forces of nature and the forces of the universe, and we're in control of both of them, the melanated people. And that's a fact. And I tell everybody, we made from the stardust, the original man, the original people, the original woman. They say you go back to the dust, but yeah, we made from the stardust, and I know that's a fact. Everything that comes from the stars is in the planet. Everything that's in the planet is in you. Everything that comes from the universe comes through the sun, comes through you, to the earth. It's in you. So this is Michael Hammer. I'm calling. Be coming back to you real soon. I'm going to do a live video. Some of the things I wanted to say tonight, I'm holding back on it because I want to fill in a little bit more different, same topic, but some different information. Because we got to prepare ourselves. We got to teach each other. We got to stimulate each other. Because when we unite and start fighting, it's going to be a fierce battle. But we just got to laugh and dance when we're giving it to it. As long as we giving the truth and that unity and those voices, there's nothing they could do about it. Because I said, we got the forces of our ancestors. We got all those brothers and sisters that shedded blood in the South. We got ones that at the bottom of the ocean. We got all of them. All the way back to Africa. Even Mother Africa is calling out. Everybody is calling out for us. I'm talking about the ones in the South now, the ones in the United States, but especially the ones in the South. Because that's, like I said, that's where slavery started. That's where it started. That's where it's going to end. But the slavery of the world. You got a lot of chains on the brain and many different forms of slavery. Monetary, power over people. There's a lot of addictions that people are fighting. Lies. Some people addicted to lies. It's everything: candy, sugar, salt, unhealthy foods, addictions. There's all kind of addictions. That's because people's emotions are all over the place. They're not mastering their own emotions. Their brains are controlling them. They're not controlling their brains. So this is Michael Hammer. I'm the Rainbow Warrior, the counselor. We'll be back to you later on this week. I hope to shoot a live video. Like I said, I'm going to say hold it back on things tonight, because things I want to say live, I want to say on the video. So until then, I see you, and peace out, and Black Power, and keep the movement going.
Make sure to check out the boldest blog at LanceScurv.com and follow Scurv on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube under LanceScurv.